Okay, awesome. Okay, good afternoon to the WellCoin Talk community. Today we have an AMA with Squidoshi. Here to speak about the project is Master Squid. So yeah, if we could just start with the core team's background and experience with crypto, Master Squid, that'd be great.
Yes, before I start off, I do want to thank Well Coin Talk for hosting this AMA with us and for thanking everybody that is in attendance today. So I'll start off with myself. I am the CEO and co-founder of Squidoshi. I have had 10 years of experience in this space, dating all the way back to 2012 when Bitcoin was $250. Throughout the time, I had experience working in other projects on a volunteer basis. So I can't really accredit myself to their success or to their downfall. But what I could say is that I learned a lot from those projects, and I bring them to the project that we have here today. So with me, we have about 8 other individuals on our team, plus 8 game developers that we are partnered with in a independent contract space. So essentially, I have my other partner with me, named BY. She has had the same amount of experience in the crypto space, and she's also taken the role as our web developer. When you look on the website, she's the one that took care of everything that you see right now. With us too, we do have Crypto Knight, Dutchy, and CZ. They're mainly our advisory and marketing team. They too have had a profound amount of experience in the space. They were on the teams of Super Connect, Santa Floki, Son of Doge, and also Catboy, which really did well. So we have uh, a fully stacked team when it comes to our marketing side. We're breaking it up into 2 sides. We have our side that CZ is going to be taking care of, and then our English side or Western side, which Kryptonite and Dutchies, and we also have someone else working on the background to give us those connections that we need to make, so we're not essentially paying overspending on marketing, and make sure that we have the resources there. We also have our what is it called? Sorry. We also have our game directors called George and you're called George and Polly. George is an avid gamer. He actually got a degree in script writing, and also Polly is a game developer. Actually, she got a degree um, 4 years ago, and she is going to be helping us direct the where the game goes from here on. We also have our blockchain developer. He is actually contracted. He's been with us for the past 5 months as we have been building our utilities. So that is a gist of our whole team. But we also do have community members that are helping us as moderators, as community members, community leaders too.
So I don't know where you want to start, maybe with a gameplay overview. We can see Planet Squidoshi
Yes.
shared here.
Yes, so I will start with what this version is. So we were actually going to launch 5 months ago, and then we saw that we wanted to bring utility to the market, right? We didn't want to be like other projects out there that say, hey, we're going to release a game, but you have to wait 6 months, 8 months, right? We wanted to make sure we came to the market with at least an MVP of a product. And this is what you see in front of you. This is what we call our pre-alpha demo game of what the full game will entail. So if you don't mind, Felipe, you can go ahead and start the game so the community can see a little bit of the gameplay.
The energy regenerates, does it? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably gonna die here, but there is another boss after this round. This game mode is essentially endless, so we want to give the community a chance to like try it out, give us feedback, and we'll keep improving this one. But while are working on this game mode or this pre-alpha, we're going to be developing our full story mode, which will consist of again a story mode, a PvP 1v1, a 4v4, and also a battle royale that we intend to roll out throughout the whole year leading up to next year. So we have a jam-packed roadmap, and the team that we have with us helping us to build the game, they're called Soft Toxin. They're actually based out in Pakistan, and they have had a lot of experience in the crypto space, dating back 5 years. They're currently working on 4 different blockchain games. One of them is called Soldier of the Metaverse, which is a really big game in Ethereum side of things.
Cool. And I noticed with the game you were trying to solve a problem where you know, P2E you can affect the charts of the token. So you're going to have a Doshi Bits token in game. Yeah.
Yes. I can give you a little bit more clarity as to what we're doing here. So for the pre-alpha that you see in front of you, we're going to be using a leaderboard style, running competitions, end of week. Whoever has like the top 10 rating will win a prize, right? So we want to engage the community that way. But that begs the question, can't someone just bought it? So we have introduced mechanisms in here so that if you die the first time, the second time around, you won't earn as much tokens. So it comes down to your skill base, which will be really good. When it comes down to the full version, one of the ways that you earn rewards will be through the in-game currency called Doshi Bits, right? So what we will do with our NFT sales, we will take a portion of that, invest it in other projects out there like Strong Nodes, Thor Nodes, Cuban Nodes, and all of these projects release a yield that we can then take and then pay back to the people that are holding the in-game token Doshi Bits. So when you gain these Doshi Bits within the game, you have 2 options, right? You can either stake them to earn that passive reward, or you can use those Doshi Bits to upgrade your character. So then you have a higher stamina, your hits are more powerful, your weapons are more powerful, and then you will essentially either earn or earn at the same time, if that makes any sense. But we would then use the money to pay back people. So the way the ecosystem would work with that is that we'll be breaking it down in seasons, right? Each season lasts 1 month, and at the end of that month, the tokens that you have generated within the game will reset to 0. So you can essentially play for the first week, earn a lot of tokens, and then you will earn those Doshi Bits. But if you stop playing, you continue to earn those Doshi Bits, but you got to keep in mind that the other players that are earning these Doshi Bits will come and hold more of the supply of the Doshi Bits, and you won't earn as many rewards as you would if you were holding the most amount of Doshi Bits.
So you're going to have the 3D NFTs. They'll be able to be used in the 3D RPG game as well.
Yes, we do have our 3D NFT. We do have four different rarities for those NFTs. Would be a common, uncommon, rare, and also legendary. But those modes will be more catered towards the amount that you will earn for your staking, because we want to make it fair for everybody that plays the game. So in the game, it will just represent a skin.
Something and also with your 3D NFTs, you'll be able to stake them. How the staking feature is going to work out, and you can also earn revenue from the marketplace NFT.
Yes. So the way it'll work out is that we haven't finalized these numbers yet, but the common and the uncommon will have its own APY, and then the rare and the legendary will have your own APY too. So you will get royalties from the revenue that we gain from our marketplace, right? We are introducing renting. So the people that come in later on, if they don't have access to an NFT, they can rent it off someone else and then um, be able to play the game. But we take a 2% fee from all the transactions that occur on the marketplace. And then a portion of that goes back to the NFT holders. And also, you get a 7% royalty after you have sold your NFT as an original minter.
And how much will the 3D NFTs cost, and how many are you minting, and which blockchain is that going to be on?
So right now we have it set as 200 BSD per NFT. It will be random mint. We will have each character will have a total of 2,000 NFTs. We're going to set it as one NFT per wallet max. But we are going to be releasing three other characters along the way. All of them will have 2,000 NFTs to their collection, but we're not going to be selling the full 2,000 on the market for each NFT. We're going to hold some back for like community rewards, so people can earn these NFTs for doing certain activities.
And what you were saying, you're going to actually make 4 games in the future, and you're going to go across multi blockchains. Why did you decide to put them on different blockchains?
Well, it's all going to be like cross chain, right? But the rewards will come in the BSC side because it's the gas fees are less. So it's not necessarily going to be 4 different games. It's just going to be one game, and there's going to be different modes within the game. Yeah, but we do want to go cross chain to have that exposure to a broader audience.
You're going to take the game across multiple blockchains. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And you've got a staking vault feature as well. You were saying it's quite unique, where you get 2% Squidoshi tokens, plus you get 2% BUSD rewards.
Yes. So I can give you guys a little bit more information about the dual reward stake and vote. So this is a stake and vote that we will have already on launch, right? Because we know that there's a lot of volume out there, and we want the community to be able to capitalize on that volume. So with the 2% Squidoshi and 2% BUSD, what happens is that once you stake it, depending on the size of your token in relation, sorry, your size of the share of the pool in relations to everybody else, you will earn accordingly to what the volume is being generated for the vault. So the Squidoshi will auto compound within itself, within the principal, and then the BUSD will be then be given to you. So depending how much Squidoshi you have will dictate how much BUSD that you will earn. But we've made it a little bit more interesting too. We're adding a function where people are able to buy Squidoshi off of PancakeSwap by just using a one-click button, right? So if you've earned $1,000 or $200 in BUSD, we're making it possible for people to just hit that one button, purchase the tokens off PancakeSwap, and you're only paying that 2.5% tax, opposed to paying the 12% tax that you would if you weren't within the vault.
Okay, great. And with the tokenomics, I think you're holding 17% of tokens back for central exchange and DEX
Yeah.
listings.
Yes.
How
Yes.
does it?
So we did it like that because we wanted to make sure that we had enough funds for central exchanges and DEX systems. We want to make sure that we cover a broad amount of exchanges that would help us get more that will help get more eyes on Squidoshi. So one that we would like to get on relatively quickly would be Hotbit. We feel that there's a lot of traffic there, and then from once we secure that deal, we want to then scale up with other exchanges.
I think I was getting feedback off Philippe there, so I've just muted him for a second.
Oh,
It was
okay.
affecting your sound coming through. And also you've got a charity aspect as well. You're going to offer 0.5% of buys and sells to an ocean
Yes.
cleanup charities. Yeah, that's great.
Yes. Yes. We already finished discussions with them, I believe, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and we are going to be given a portion of the tokenomics to them. But we don't only want to stop there. We want to give the community a chance to come to us and be like, hey, we feel that there's a charity here that needs money because uh, they want to help out a certain cause, and we'll be able to reach out to this charity, do our due diligence to make sure they're actually like legit, and then we'll split that point 0.5 into 0.25, and then send one way, and then the rest will go to the ocean cleanup. Yeah.
Great. And how does it work for the rest of the tax for buys and sells?
Yes, so the rest of the tax for buys and sells goes as follows. We got our 2% going towards BUSD rewards, 2% going towards the Squidoshi tokens, and then we got 3% going towards liquidity, 3% going towards marketing, and then we got the 2% going towards the lagoon. The lagoon is broken down into three stages. We just spoke about the first stage being the charity aspect of things, and then we got our buyback. This buyback will be a manual buyback that we're going to be doing throughout the lifespan of the token, and also we have a 1% team reserve. So this team reserve is there just for emergency cases, right? We want to make sure that the game has that funding, and we are not just solely reliant on the volume generated to have fun. So this would be set aside for like rainy day, and also it will go towards like if we need to pay the team because there's like low volume, so we can ensure that everybody gets paid and no one gets upset essentially. But yeah.
Just going back to the game, actually, will investors need to have an NFT to play? Will it be free to play? How does it work?
So for this version that you see in front of you, it will be free to play. But once the story mode and the rest of the other modes come out, you will need an NFT to play.
And you've got a lottery draw feature as well, where you can win 1% of the buys and sells. And to
Yeah.
qualify, you need 50,000 tokens. Is that going to be like a daily or a weekly draw for investors?
So the way the lottery system works for a contract is that we as a team have the luxury of turning it on and off, right? So for the first 2 days, we want to have it off because no one is going to qualify for it because of the terms and conditions being there. You will need to hold it for a minimum of 48 hours, right? So what happens here is once we turn it on, we're going to allocate 1% of the tokenomics. So it could come from the liquidity pool. If we see that the liquidity to market cap ratio is just getting too tight, it could come from other parts of the tokenomics, and then we'll feed it that way. So once it pays out, once it pays out, it's gonna start collecting more Squidoshi tokens, and then it will look for someone else that satisfies those requirements. The core requirements meaning you haven't sold for 48 hours, you haven't done a wallet to wallet transfer. So we did it that way so people don't try to cheat the system. And also, you haven't sold, right? So this is there to help or to reward the diamond holders. But we know that we have things to cater to all investors out there, for like the people that just want a quick gain to the people that actually want to be diamond holders. But we are not gonna have it on for a long time each day. So once like it pays out 10 times a day, we'll turn it off. So then people don't end up like destroying the chart because we know we are paying it in the native token.
You've got the stake involved, which will you don't have to lock them away. I saw you, but you'll give a
Yes.
bonus if you lock them for 7 to 30 days. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So we have these bonuses there for the people that want to take that want to get rewarded more, right? So I can give you an example here. So if you and I are in a stake and vote and you decide to lock your tokens because you are really passionate about Squidoshi, and I decide to like just keep it in there and not lock my rewards right up, you lock yours for 30 days, and I'm still within the vault, but I'm still staking it for 30 days. So at the end of those 30 days, you will essentially earn 30% more in Squidoshi tokens and 30% more in BUSD, right? And then with the thing here with the BUSD is that you can use that BUSD to do whatever you want, right? You don't necessarily have to on stake your can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I just got a message saying that they couldn't hear me properly. But okay, you would then be able to use that BUSD reward to like either buy more Squidoshi that we make that function available for you to do it and not have to pay that 12% tax. Or you can use that you can use those rewards to buy other things that you deem fit.
Yeah, just earlier on, I think when Philippe was playing the game, there was a noise in the background that was affecting your
Oh,
microphone,
okay.
but I can still hear you. Okay, everything fine.
All right.
So, have you got audits planned for the contract as well?
Yes, we do have audits planned for the contract. So right now we are just testing the smart contracts on the test net. We're going to be moving it to the main net to ensure that there's no like hiccups once things go live, because we have noticed that, or from our time being in the space, even though people get that initial audit, there's still hiccups when they launch on the main net. So we want to do that main net testing too, and then we will do our audit. We're looking at Interfly, but we could also go with Solid Proof as other people had been advocating for. And then after we launch, we're looking to secure a certificate audit.
I'm wondering where we're at for investors. You're going to have a private sale and a public sale, and there'll be vesting periods. Yeah.
Yes, so we have already had our private sale. We sold 2.8% of our total supply for $19,000. On the 7th, we're going to be having our first public sale, which will be open to everybody. But there is vesting involved for all our three sales that we'll be having starting from the 7th moving on. It will be 60% on launch, and then 20% each week thereafter, vested for 2 weeks. But with the first sale, if the community chooses to invest in it, they benefit from receiving rewards on those vested tokens, because we're going to be doing it internally, right? And there is a minimum amount of tokens that you will need to hold for you to earn that reward for the vested amount, right? So after doing the calculations, if you were to buy anywhere from 700 BUSD to 1,000 BUSD, which is the cap, the min is 100. You will get that those rewards on your vested amount for the first week, but not for the second week. But for the private sailors, you're getting rewards for both sides, and they got a 15% discount from listing price.
Yeah, it's not like a 5 or 6 month vesting period. It's fine. It just
No.
sort of supports the price on launch for the first few weeks as the
Yeah.
game grows with investors. So yeah, that's great. And what's the plans around marketing after launch?
Yes. So for marketing, we got a lot in store. We actually plan on listing on CG CMC before launch, so it will actually look good once we go live. We're going to be hitting up call groups. We're going to be pushing our Asian marketing to do more AMAs in the community, Asian communities, and also the Western communities to get that exposure out there. We want to be using social media, increasing our social media presence, getting ambassadors that will endorse our project. Also, uh, going back to YouTube, getting a lot of YouTube content and educational content out there about Squidoshi. And one thing we want to do differently is that we don't only want to do billboards, but we want to get into universities and actually showcase our game within the schools, right? So if they come to our platform after that point, then they will be able to see the other utilities that Squidoshi has to offer. And it's not just solely a game, but there's an ecosystem like our predict and earn and like our universal NFT stake and vote, where people can come and stake your NFTs from other projects, but they would need to hold a certain amount of our token. So that within itself is also called marketing. And we can also use our charity aspects to also market the project. And it will be a win-win for both parties.
And I was wondering, with the staking vault, you said there's like a 3% taxes it in and out of the vault, and the NFT profits. I'm wondering what that will be used for, maybe marketing liquidity or buyback and burns as well.
So the 2.5% tax going in and 2.5% tax going out, that is going towards the marketing and development wallet. So for the NFT sales, those funds are going to be used to invest in the other investments that I was mentioning earlier. So we're not solely relying on our native token. We're having another source of revenue for the project. It will go into marketing too because we want to have, I guess, have some kind of like a small underwater metaverse, if you can call it, with the game where people, other projects or other companies can promote your project within the game in like billboards on buildings, signs, because we're going to be building an underwater city, right? Which will have five distinct parts to it. So we want to be able to capitalize on that. So that's where that NFT sales are going to go, and a portion of it is going to go towards ensuring that there's always funding for the game, so that we hit the deadlines that we have listed out on our roadmap.
So I can open it up to the rest of the team if anyone's got a question for Master Squidoshi. Go ahead.
Yeah, Glenn. Yeah, I was listening in and I was watching the gameplay. It looks quite exciting, even from this demo version that you're showing us. And I do have just a few questions. So you mentioned there's gonna
Yeah,
be an endless type of game here. So there's gonna be like
yeah,
different mini bosses that you have to fight. So I'm wondering
yeah.
for the start, will there be some sort of a cap on how much you can play, or people can just jump
Mhm.
in and have as many attempts as they want, and they'll be able to earn the in-game currency?
So yes, for this one, there will be no cap, right? We want to make it so anybody can play and just spend your time just enjoying it, right? So we're going to be introducing that leaderboard system. We were going to just be paying accordingly, but there is a mechanism in the game where if you keep dying and try playing it again and again, it's going to get to a point where you won't get any tokens, right? So this is there to prevent people from just botting it and try to like take that first spot position or like the first 10 spots. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. So it's gonna have sort of like a diminishing return. Though you have to
Yes.
be actually good to earn rewards
Yeah.
from the start, or yeah. And I'm guessing like after 24 hours or something like that, they will reset, and then you'll keep earning
Mhm.
the full value.
Yes, yes, that is 100%
Yeah,
correct.
and for the leaderboards, you're looking to I don't know award what the top 10, top 5 players, something like that,
So
or?
we'll do the top 10, but then we'll also do like tournaments within the community. Like once a week, we'll have a grand prize where everybody will share the screen. Whoever dies first is eliminated, and then we'll go from there until like we're down to like the last three, and then it's like whoever can gain the most points at that point to make it
Yeah,
more entertaining. Yeah.
yeah, it sounds nice. And you also mentioned you'll be able to upgrade sort of your weapons or your damage and things like that. Will that be
hmm
sort of assets in the form of NFTs that people can sort of attach to their character, or is it just based on your account and then the more you upgrade your own character, that you're only gonna have it for yourself? You won't be able to trade them after that, right?
So this will be more geared towards the story mode and the rest of the other modes, but here it will be the weapons that you find within the game. Not all of them will be NFTs. We want to make sure that only the rare ones are NFTs, and the people that grind and end up killing like the legendary bosses would be the ones that earn the NFTs. But we also want to make it so that we're catering to the people that don't want to grind but they just want to obtain this NFT and be able to play the other modes within the game once that gets rolled out. So let's just say for like each week there will be a set amount of NFT legendary cards that people can gain, and then once that's depleted, that'll be it. But you will be able to upgrade your like your stats with the Doshi bits within the game, and then you'll be able to sell that those stats to like other people
Yeah,
or rent it out.
yeah, it sounds good because the one thing that I look for every time I see a play to earn sort of game is whether or not it has token sinks, right? Whether or not people can actually
hmm
use their earnings in game to, instead of just
hmm
draining it from the liquidity, right? They can just use it in
Yeah,
game to upgrade it. And I think that's the best way of doing it
yeah,
because you want
yeah.
people to kind of get engaged and then build up from there. So you mentioned that there's like they're gonna find some NFTs by battling these bosses, right? So it's gonna
Yeah.
be skill based, basically.
Yes,
I don't know. Will there
it's gonna
have
be
like
skill based.
different levels of difficulty, or it'll just be like gradually harder as you go along?
Yeah, so it'll be gradually harder as you go along. So even with our pre-alpha demo, as you play each cycle, once you start playing again, it's like the difficulty level for these bosses or the amount of health they have, right? So your health will increase by I believe it's like 12%. So like instead of it being like 100, it will be like 12% more. So then when you're fighting it now, it's like the difficulty level for this version of the game is that they have more health opposed to you do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds nice. It sounds especially like you mentioned you're going to build sort of a mini metaverse in the game where people will be able to sort of trade and all that. So if you're creating a little bit of a sandbox for people to use the currency in the game and trade between themselves, or maybe I don't know in the future buy some fancier weapons to attach to their characters,
Yeah.
that can be super nice. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
Eh,
also just one more thing from you. You mentioned briefly
yeah.
about going to schools and things like this to sort of show
hmm
people the game. How are you going to do that? Do you have some, I don't know, places in mind, or have you talked to some people, or is it going to
Um,
be like, yeah?
So like what? Because when when I was going to school in Humber, we had like billboards within the schools, like TVs, and this is where we want to be reaching out to the schools, be like, hey, can we showcase our game, and we'll give you like I guess a cut from our marketing, and then we'll be able to do like that partnership. So right now, it's we haven't started that yet. We want to start it once we launch, but that is something that I personally want to make sure it happens
Yeah,
because
it's
we want to target the young generations and expose them to crypto, but use the game to do so. So it's not as risky, right? Because you're just playing the game, you can play the game for free at this point, and you can earn tokens, and
yeah.
it could be someone's first token owning that Squidoshi.
Oh yeah, that'll be super exciting because I'm thinking like you can actually build. You've mentioned the story mode, right? So you can have some sort of
Yeah.
educational story modes for some of these people that are not
Hmm.
already onboarded to crypto, right? And while they're playing your game, they could be learning how all this integrates with the blockchain and how they're earning the
Yes.
rewards and all that. So it's super exciting, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll open it up to investor questions in a second. I was just wondering, is it going to be web-based at first, and then will you go over to iOS and Android, the mobile app?
So with this version, we just have it on Windows, Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. We're looking to do WebGL for this one too. The WebGL version is what he has, but this is like the testing version. Um, but for the full game, we're looking to transitions to the Android. I believe for play to earn games, it's really hard for you to get onto the iOS because Apple isn't really for it. But we've learned that there's a secondary market with Apple where you can essentially put your game on there and then wait for it to get approved. So that is the route we're going to use. If that is not feasible, then we'll just take out that, I guess, that blockchain side of things for the Apple iOS, and then we'll just do like a leaderboard board style for it, so that people that use that iOS can still benefit from earning rewards and still get the same
Awesome.
playing experience. Yeah.
And with the in-game token not being linked to the Squidoshi token, I imagine maybe you might be able to launch on Steam as well.
Yes, that is something that we actually want to look into. But with the in-game with the Squidoshi token, we still integrate it within the game. Here you were able to use the token, the Squidoshi token, to bet against someone else, right? So for each match that you will do, you will get the Doshi bits, but you could also wager Squidoshi on your opponent. Be like, hey, if I win, let's put up Squidoshi, 10 Squidoshis or 50 Squidoshis, whoever wins takes it. And this will all go into a smart contract using oracles. And then once the match is over, will the winner will be determined, and then that money will then be sent to the other person's account.
Great. Okay, let's open it up. Syad, you had a question for Squidoshi, the Master Squid here. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. So on your white paper, it's mentioned that one of the major factor in the combat is the feature of the helper bots. They will be
Yes.
helping the player. I was wondering that how player will be able to get these bots and how
Hmm.
many bots a player can have helping him in a
Hmm.
game.
So the helper bots or the Romano bots, like we call it in the game, it's going to we're gonna start with the default one, right? So the default one will come with like just basic stats, and you will have the chance to upgrade that default um, Romano bot, but it's gonna help you with like attacks and blocks, right? So let's just say, have you ever played a game where it's like you're just one hit away from killing your other opponent, and it's like you just needed that one thing to achieve that. That's where the Romano bot will come into play and be able to like block certain attacks, but it will take time for it to reload, and could also do like offensive attacks too, which would be like minimum damage. So we will have two of these bots. One will be free for people to use, and then one will be like for purchase. But right now we're determining to either make it an NFT or just to make it like something that would be within the game that you can transfer.
Okay, got it. Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, no
So,
problem.
yeah. On your white paper, I've read that the users can lock their token for 17, 14, or 30 days. So I
Yeah.
want to know that what will be the staking requirement for 17, 40, and 30 days respectively. I mean, different number of the Squidoshi tokens will need to be required depending on the locking periods.
No. So if you just have one Squidoshi token, you can lock it for 30 days. But you got to understand that it all depends how many other, it's all in the, sorry, how do I say this? So it's all dictated upon how many people are in the staking vault with you. So if it's just you in there, then you essentially receive all the rewards coming in the staking vault. But if you have 1,000 other people that have way more tokens than you, then you wouldn't essentially earn as much. But you also got to understand that you do also earn tokens outside of the vault, but you're not going to earn the native token outside of the vault. You're only going to earn another token, which we want to put in the hands in the community, which will also be fed from the same 2% going towards the BUSD. So we can, outside of the vault, we can have like we can reach out to a project and be like, hey, we want to use your rewards as paying our tokens, right? Which would be on a swap and liquefy function. But you whitelist our contract, we'll buy your tokens, call it Shiba Inu Doge or whatever, and then you have to make that announcement saying, hey, we're partnering or we're collaborating with Squidoshi. If you want to earn more of our token, head over. So then we're gaining more access to other projects that way.
Awesome, awesome. Moving to my final question, you mentioned that you are in touch with the organization for charity work to clean up the ocean.
Yes.
So I missed that part. Have you named the organization you are working with?
Yes, we have already finished conversations with the ocean cleanup. I believe they're an organization that have developed a technology that takes out garbage from our bodies of water, right? We know that this part of our living, or this part of the world, like our waters, are being really neglected, and people or companies are just throwing garbage in there, right? So seeing that we are an underwater themed project, going back to the game, we want to do something that would have a benefit to the sea creatures out there, to the creatures that live within the bodies of water. So that is one reason why we went with ocean cleanup.
Okay, got it. Another question popped up in my mind. I was
Yeah.
wondering that in future, will you be integrating DAO system for selecting the charities?
So with the not necessarily, but we just want to bring it up to the community, just to like let us know what they feel would be good, right? We'll do our due diligence on those charities to make sure they're actually legit and not just someone telling us, hey, there's a charity out there, and send them the money. And then we'll bring it to the community and be like, hey, we came down to 3 or 4 charities. Which one do you feel we should go with first? Right? We're going to make sure that we target all of them that we have, that we have deemed fit to provide that monetary value to. But we want to make sure that we include the community in there as to like which one we will pay out to first, and then second, and then third. If that answers your question.
Yeah. Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you. Best of luck.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, great. And I see you've got the beta out, so that's great for the launch for investors. And I'm wondering what sort of timeline there is for the alpha coming out and the expansion of the game.
So this is the alpha. Or I guess the pre-alpha we call it. But this would be available for people to test out, play it, earn money from it, give us feedback on it, right on launch, right? So this will come out with our staking vaults. Our story mode beta will come out, I believe the developers told us 8 months. So that when they said 8 months, that told us that, hey, we got to come up with other things to keep the investors entertained while this comes out. And then the PvP aspect of things will come out towards the end of the year, so like December time. And then we're going to be rolling out the 4v4 and then the battle royale into Q2, Q3 of next year. So we have like a jam-packed roadmap.
Let's go to questions again. Aisha, you had a question for Squidoshi team here. Master Squid, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Okay, on your white paper, it's mentioned that a Squidoshi, um, sorry, I've read on your white paper about 3D NFTs. I
Yes.
want to know that will only the holders of Squidoshi tokens will be able to mint them, or everyone will be able to mint these NFTs?
Everybody will be able to mint these NFTs.
Okay, got it. I've also read on your white paper that all agents in the game will share the same weapons and they will all have different abilities corresponding to their character. I want to
Yes.
know that will players be able to get the character NFT of their own liking, or characters will be drawn randomly?
So for the NFT, so we're gonna have different collections, right? So our first collection will be for Squiddles that one of our community members named it, which is the one that you have here. So that will have its own three three, I guess, rarities, right? You get the chance to pick one, which would be at random. But then there's going to be three other collections coming out later on down the road, leading up to like the full version. So if you buy this version, you can always go and buy another one and another and so on. So you can essentially have ver- four different characters, but you can only hold one character of each uh, collection from each collection to make it fair for everybody.
Okay, that's great. Last question from my side. You mentioned about story mode. I want to
Mhm.
know that will player be only able to play story mode solo, or players can team up in story mode?
So right now we have it set as story mode will be solo, but we do have other aspects to the game like our Dungeons and Dragons. I believe that is also on the white paper, but here you can use your team that you would create once the PvP 4v4 aspect comes out to like do like raids within like a dungeon and be able to like defeat these like OP bosses together.
Okay, and you mentioned about battle royale mode. How
Hmm.
many players will be able to participate in a single battle mode? I mean, in a
So
single battle.
right now we're just looking at 10 people per single round, which will
Okay,
take
that's
effect
great.
within the whole map.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for answering.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. I was wondering when you do the tournaments, will everyone be able to tune in and watch the winning
Yeah.
battles and things like that?
Yes, yes. This we want to integrate Twitch in there, so like people like I guess influencers or promoters will be able to stream and tune in, and even if you want to place a bet on who will win, I don't know. We'll see if we can integrate that in there, but that's just in the air. But we do want to integrate Twitch in there because we know Twitch is a big media outlet for gaming.
And Sarah, you had a question for Satoshi for Master Squid here. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I want to ask you a
Thank you, sir.
question based on your game, please.
Yeah.
Personally, I love games, but I'm not very good in playing games. I'm not a
Hmm.
professional player. And that makes me scared sometimes. I'm scared of losing. Coupled
Yeah.
with the fact that most games today are quite expensive to start. So the fear of losing most times overwhelm me. So I want to ask, please, is there any chances of winning your game if one is not a professional player?
Yes, there is a chance of winning the game. So this is one reason why we want to introduce the pre-alpha first because the movements are going to be similar to when the full game comes out. So you're going to be able to test out, get a feel of how the game will be, right? Of course, it is a pre-alpha, so there's things that are going to be changed, but as things change, we're going to be involved in the community, right? So you get that experience here. So then once you go and play the version where you require that NFT, and the NFT will be the only thing that you will need to purchase as someone that is new to crypto or someone that is not good at playing games. And then you will just be playing it, right? You start off with a story mode campaign. They're going to be easy bosses where you collect coins. and then as you play, it's just going to progressively get harder and harder. So to answer your question, yes, there will be ways for you to still earn even if you're not as good in the game. But we will be here to ensure that you get the support needed to get better at the game. If you have any questions or if you need any tips and tricks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And Visa, you had a question. Squidoshi team, go ahead.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
fine. And how are you?
I'm doing well myself.
Good. Okay, I am looking your project. It's very amazing. So,
Thank you.
one thing is in my mind. I wanna know that if some person don't wanna play your game, but still want to invest in your token, so
hmm
how can they generate their passive income by other token without playing the game?
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
there's lots of ways that you can earn passive income. I'll name, I guess, a few. So one would be just holding the token, right? Another would be staking the token. Another would be purchasing the NFT that is used in game, but you can then rent it out if you're not a gamer. So then you can still get that passive income and still get those rewards. And also you got the rewards going to the NFT holders from the marketplace. And once you do decide to sell your NFT, you end up getting the royalties whenever the next person sells it, which will be 7%. So we've created lots of ways. And not to mention, if you are, I guess we call it here in this space, degen, you do get to use your tokens to bet on like the price movement on BNB going up or down, right? That is something that we've implemented for people that want to just, that like to take risky plays. But yeah,
Okay, thanks a lot. Best of luck your project. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, we'll take one more question. Time's moving on here, and then we can do a recap over the project for anyone that joined the AMA in the middle, because we've got lots of people in here. Let's see, Crypto King. Crypto King, you had a question. The Squidoshi team. Master Squid here, go ahead. He's not unmuting his mic. Let's try Viva. Viva, you had a question? Go ahead. He's not there either. Let's have a look. Crypto Smart. Crypto Smart, are you there? No.
Everybody's asleep now.
Right. Yeah. So in a second, yeah, we can go over a recap for any investors that joined late in the call. But we do say if anyone's got any questions, we can get you safely over to the official Squidoshi Telegram.
Yes.
Do you have the VC open sometimes, Master Squid?
Yes, yes, we do. We do have it open sometimes, but we could have it open right after this AMA for anybody that does have questions, or we'll be in the chat too if people are too shy to open up to your mic to ask questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if we could go into a recap on Squidoshi
Yeah.
project.
Yes.
Every...
So recap for Squidoshi is we're building an underwater 3D game with different components, but we also want to introduce different elements that we want to benefit the holders of the token. So some of these benefits are our dual reward stake and vote, our predict and earn, our universal BSC NFT staking platform, our our in-house NFT staking platform, and our different modes of games that we're going to be providing throughout the year for this version of our roadmap. But when it really comes down to it, Squidoshi is just here to just give back to the community. The reason why Squidoshi was born was out of the ruins of what we saw last year from the Squid Games, right? So we saw that, and we saw all the scams that was happening. So we wanted to do something differently, come to market with products opposed to like just promises, right? So this is what Squidoshi is doing differently, and this is what Squidoshi is going to do to ensure that all our community members, even if you're in our TG or not, you're still benefiting from the project that we or the ecosystem that we're creating. So I guess my final words are: if you do have any questions, please join our TG. We are holding our pre-sale, our first pre-sale, I should say, on the 7th, which is open to the public. So again, I do encourage everybody to join the TG, do more research on the project, so then you're caught up today, and we'll be here to help you guys out. Thank you.
So, Master Squid, it's been great speaking to you about the Squidoshi project. You've got the game in place, and you've got NFTs and staking and all sorts coming for investors. So that's great. You know, you've got a solid platform to build on and grow the game into the future. So that's really exciting for our investors to hear this today. And I think we've spin the wheel now as well. $50 to 2 lucky winners. I'm not sure if Acti or Dizzle's here to spin the wheel.
Yeah, I'll spin the wheel. Just give me a second here, guys. I'm bringing it up.